And welcome back, everybody, to the Old Gab Box radio show and podcast. Again, all brought to you by Casa de Campo in the Dominican Republic. Pete Dye has 4 courses there, the late, great Pete Dye. And Teeth of the Dog, his favorite, and it is a gem. Reopened last Friday. I'll be playing it this weekend. I'm excited. Jerry Pate did the redo, I'm told, and the pictures look incredible. Check it out yourself, casadecampo.com. A lot's going on in the holidays, and I'm here to tell you it is a great family vacation spot, casadecampo.com. All right, speaking of Pete Dye, we're headed to Ponte Vedra now because of the Dye Valley course, at least for 2 days. PGA Tour Q School will tee off this Thursday, and then also 2 rounds at Sawgrass Country Club. They rotate. 176 players going for 5 PGA Tour cards, including a young man I've known ever since he was a Little League baseball player at Shays Mountain Park in Hoover, Alabama. Talking about Will Cannon. Hey, Will, that wasn't too long ago, was it?
It feels like a lifetime ago, but I guess technically it wasn't all that long ago.
Well, I'm glad that you went from baseball to golf because I think it served you well. Will, great golfer. I've been lucky enough to play with and just admire his game. A state amateur champ, All-American at UAB, and now on the Korn Ferry Tour, trying to make his way on the PGA Tour. Will, that's just exciting to hear it. But again, you earned your way through second stage to final stage, but 176 players going for 5 spots. It's going to be tough out there.
Absolutely, as it should be. You know, it's not supposed to be easy. 2 difficult golf courses, great test of golf this week. I feel like whoever those 5 guys are deserve to be there, and obviously hope to be one of them.
Yeah, you know, it is an interesting list. Doug Gim finished 113th in FedEx Cup points. Top 100 got their cards. Adam Hadwin, he's been in the FedEx Cup playoffs 10 years in a row. Lanto Griffin, who won it last year, now is back. My friend Camilo Villegas is trying to earn his way through. So it really doesn't matter, Will, where you come from or what you've done. I mean, this is an important week. You can put all that past stuff behind you, right?
Absolutely. I mean, like you listed some great names with some great careers and on the PGA Tour, and there's also plenty of guys here who are chasing status on any tour for the first time, and we saw it a couple years ago where somebody didn't have any status that year and ended up getting a PGA Tour card through Q School. So I think that just kind of gives everybody an opportunity. Everybody's starting at even par this week, and it doesn't matter what you've done this year or the last 5 or 10 years. All that matters is how you play this week, and which is really encouraging for someone like me who hasn't been on the PGA Tour yet. I've got an opportunity this week. I have one good week. I can get on the PGA Tour and hopefully make a long career out of it.
Well, I've been out there a long time following guys on the PGA Tour, and you got game, my friend. You have that kind of game, and I want our listeners and viewers to know that. I mean, Will's got a chance this week. And the fact you played here last year, Will, tied for 43rd, that got you Korn Ferry status. Top 5 get the cards, and then the next 40. You played pretty good last year. I was looking at your scores. 72, 72, 74, 65. Were you happy with that performance a year ago?
No, of course not. You know, I mean, it was nice to be able to finish in that top 45 and get some starts. But, I was coming into the week, planning to finish in that top 5 and get a tour card. Didn't really drive it very well, which is very important at both golf courses. There's a lot of water at Sawgrass Country Club. Fairways are very tight at Dye Valley. So you have to drive it well. Didn't do that very well last year. I feel like I'm driving it well coming into this week. So hopefully making a few tweaks and building off of that good final round at Dye Valley last year, and just a lot more of that, and hopefully build out on that momentum from last year in the final.
You are driving it well. It's interesting. If you go to PGAtour.com, they have every single player in the field and all your stats. You're like +1 in driving statistics. So you are driving it well, and you drove it well last week under pressure, and obviously that's going to serve you well this week.
Absolutely, yeah. And so coming off of a good week last week at second stage, and played well at first stage as well, even though that was a few weeks ago. That was kind of the one thing I wanted to focus on as the Korn Ferry season ended was driver getting a little bit more accurate. I was hitting it a little bit further this year, but it cost me a couple chances there towards the end of the year with the driver. So focused on that hard in the off season. I feel like I've made a lot of progress with it, and I hopefully bring the good energy and good momentum there with the driver into this week.
Hey, let's get back to the courses, though, because we talked about Mr. Dye's Valley course. And that is, if people aren't familiar, you have the stadium course where the big tournament happens, and then literally you walk a couple hundred yards on the other side of the property, and you have this Pete Dye gym. And it is a challenging layout. And then, of course, Sawgrass Country Club, they used to have the Players' Championship there before they moved to Sawgrass. And the wind's going to be blowing. I mean, It's a challenge for all you guys at these two venues.
Yeah, absolutely. Both incredible golf courses. Starting with Sawgrass Country Club, what makes it so difficult is you have a hazard on almost every single tee shot, and you have 20 to 30-mile-an-hour crosswinds on almost every single tee shot. And not only does that make it difficult on the tee shot, let's say you hit every good tee shot, well, you still got a 20-mile-an-hour crosswind coming into a green that you can't miss short-sided. So that's a great test there. And then you go on Dyes Valley. The stadium course gets all the love at TPC, but Dyes Valley is a fantastic golf course. If you look at the scorecard, I think it only says 6,900 yards or 70,000 yards from the back, but it deserves a lot more respect than the yardage gives because it forces you into a lot of spots off the tee where you can't necessarily hit driver. A lot of really tight tee shots that even if you do try to push it up with driver and you miss, you're going to make bogey. A lot of water around the greens. Short-sided is very difficult as well. Every single part of both of these golf courses tests all parts of your game, which is exactly what you want in an event like this, where you're trying to get a PGA Tour card.
Yeah, the Pete Dye Valley course, again, Will, as you know with Mr. Dye, what you see is not always what you get.
Yeah.
Invites you to go this way, but maybe a short little angle may be the way to go, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. There's definitely some deception and visually as well, where it looks like you should go one way, but you definitely can't bite off more than you can chew with these golf courses. And it's always better to play a little bit more conservatively around here and just kind of take your chances when you get them with wedges.
Hey, Will, last September 2024 is when you won the Fortinet Championship up there in Canada, and we had a little celebration for you down in Birmingham. And it was a big moment for you, obviously for your family and your dad who wanted to see you win out there. But what did that do for you? Because that earned you some starts, a lot of starts in the Korn Ferry Tour. That was a big move for you, wasn't it? And not too long ago.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was, for me at this point in my career, that was the biggest moment of my career for a lot of reasons because, one, not only did it get me that status on Korn Ferry for this past year and give myself some guaranteed starts for the first time in my career, to me, it proved to myself that I could win at a high level. I could play against some really good competition, and I belong out here at the very least, and maybe on the PGA Tour as well. There's a lot of great players in that field, including Johnny Kiefer, who went on to be number one on the Korn Ferry Tour this year. He's going to be fully exempt on the PGA Tour next year. And then I can play against some good players and compete against them. And that was a huge confidence boost and gave me that confidence that I needed to have some success out here.
Yeah, I think people, and they ask me all the time, obviously the PGA Tour is the focus, but I get a lot of people say, how good is the Korn Ferry Tour? And I'm like, it's good, man. I mean, well, you guys, there's a lot of sharks out there on the Korn Ferry Tour.
Absolutely. I think we don't get the attention that the PGA Tour does, but, as far as the quality of the players here, this is PGA Tour quality golf players out here. And I feel like the depth is just getting stronger and the players are just getting better. And with the changes to the PGA Tour, this tour is becoming more and more competitive each year. So these guys are really good, and I think they're proving that on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Hey, last year Lanto won. He was 9 under at Q School. Of course, we talked about you were 3 over, and that's not really that big of a gap when you think about it. Is it going to be a similar score this year? Because you mentioned the winds. I was looking at the weather forecast, constant 12 to 15 miles per hour, gusting up to 20. I mean, that's kind of what you get down there in Ponte Vedra. Do you think 9 under is going to be the winning score, something like that again?
I think somewhere around there. And if I remember correctly, I believe Lanto shot 6 or 7 under in that final round to get to 9 under. Anything around that 5 to 10 under is going to be a good score. I think we're going to get a little bit warmer this week, which will be nice. But like you said, the winds are going to be strong, and that's one of the major defenses of both of these golf courses. Like I said, the design is difficult, but when you have crosswinds on every hole, it's going to make it really tough. So anything close to 10 under is going to be a great score this week.
All right, Will, lastly, as we let you get out and practice, because I know you got an early tee time, we were trying to arrange this interview. Well, what's it like chasing a dream? I mean, can you put it in perspective? Because, listen, you've been playing golf, junior golf, high school golf, state amateur champ, collegiate golf. Now you've been bouncing around literally all over the world playing various tours. Now you're on the Korn Ferry. You see that carrot out there, the PGA Tour. Can you describe what it's like chasing a dream? Because you've been doing it for a while now.
Man, it's a blast. It's so much fun. I've always loved golf. Golf is a huge passion of mine, and I think anybody who has a passion wants to pursue it for a career. And fortunately, there's a lot of different ways to do that. But I just love playing. I love competing. I love traveling and seeing different golf courses and playing great golf courses from different designers like Pete Dye. And to be able to go all over the world, I've been to some crazy places that I never would have gone to otherwise without the game of golf. And I'm telling you, it's just been a blast. I want to do it for the rest of my life, and I'm just enjoying every minute of it.
That's awesome, man. We're rooting for you this week. We'll be following virtually every shot. You can go to PGAtour.com. And I need to tell our listeners and viewers, last time I played with Will Cannon at Hoover Country Club, there's 5 par 5s. And Will reaches every par 5 in 2 with an iron. I think maybe Will, one of the par 5s you used a 4-iron. The rest of them were like a 5-iron. And you didn't hit any eagle putts. They were all 2-putt birdies. And you were disappointed with that 4-under round. And I was like, oh my goodness. This guy was disappointed with a 4-under, but then again at Hoover, I guess maybe 7 or 8 under is your usual score, right?
Maybe not every time. Most of the time, 4 or 5 under is not too bad. But when you're playing good, you want to go low.
Yeah, no. It was a great day and a real treat for me. And of course, Matt Barnes, your great friend, a friend of mine too, was with us. So, and Matt was a great player. So I was just kind of like the fly on the wall as you guys were bombing it out there at Hoover Country Club. Yeah, it was a fun day. Well, Will, all the best, my friend. Man, I hope you get that top 5 finish. And even still, with Korn Ferry, that'd be another good year with an opportunity. But that top 5 finish would be awful nice, my friend.
Yeah, it sure would. That's the goal. So I appreciate you having me. It's a lot of blast.
Thanks, Will. Play good in the wind.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, bud.